Good evening. Welcome to the Public Safety Building Committee meeting. This meeting is being recorded for cablecast and YouTube presentation by Area 58 Community Access Media. The video of this meeting is not to be considered an official public record. And thank you for watching. Alrighty. Everybody have a chance to look at the agenda?
No.
Well, there's always trouble.
I know.
And it's usually
Call
him.
this meeting to order.
I thought I did that.
Oh,
At
6:03.
6:03, I did.
Yeah.
And I also need to call the Board of Selectmen to order at 6:04. Alrighty. First thing on the agenda is last week's, or 2 weeks ago, minutes. Does anybody have any amendments?
No.
I have two minor, and on the fourth bullet, our goal should be to balance cost against who the building should be how. And then on the fifth bullet, now action was taken, and it should be no. And it's just very minor, and you're done. So, motion to accept the minutes as amended.
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, minutes are accepted. And now we are at the consulting applications, and I'm going to turn that over to the subcommittee, and whichever of you want to speak to it. Harry?
You wanna
Whichever, Harry.
pass those around with the, I don't really want to speak for it, but that's just a spreadsheet of 4 of the 5 applicants that we received.
Okay.
And it's results of phone calls that I've had with each of them. Asking the question you delineated in your email to me.
Hi, Art. We just accepted the minutes. Did you have any, we can reopen them if you had any issues.
No, that's
Okay.
fine.
And we have a copy of this for Art. We're now discussing the consultants. Perry and the subcommittee have put together a little chart of the applicants, and with a ballpark bid,
Yeah, the top one should be ACG and not AGC.
ACG.
ACG, yeah.
See what I did?
Oh, you could.
So what I'd like us to do is to come up with a figure that we can put on the warrant. And it looks like it goes from 35,000 up to 198,000.
No, I don't think the bottom range is good for anything, though.
No.
No,
I would start for
nor
the,
the top range,
The
so.
the bottom.
well, I would start with the top of the bottom and,
Yeah, the bottom two are ridiculous.
Every one of the gentlemen that I talked with were very hesitant. In fact, made the statement that it wasn't really a legal request, just so you're aware of it. When I asked for a range of cost for the OPM from, feasibility to bidding. They all came in with something, but
so then.
It's not legal.
But then how does one choose somebody if there's no number?
That's
I mean, assuming we're not in
I
our
explained
issue.
what we were working towards, that we had an article that we needed to put a number on, and we needed a range, and myself, personally speaking, I'd rather see it on the high end than on the low end.
Right, I agree, yeah.
That's all I basically said, and then asked for a duration covering that amount of money.
I think the article should say something approximately up to $100,000 not to exceed.
Yeah. that's-
And if you notice, the, right at the bottom, the note, all of them suggested this, that however we wrote the article, that last section should be added to it.
Does anybody in the audience want to see this?
Yeah, there's some
There's a
extra
couple
ones,
more
just
here.
pass them out. It just seems a little funny, because if you know, because when I've submitted RFPs out, you know, you get a cost back, and that's part of what you're, you know, what you're getting at.
It
So
would be one of the ways that you choose the group.
I would think, but we have something to work with.
This is our initial introduction
Sure.
on
Right.
Sure.
who is interested in this and where their interests lie. I don't believe that the 165 to 198 has any interest. And 35 to 50,
Yeah.
they're gonna get in a week and they're gonna say, we need more money.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Well, it's interesting because they're the people that we
And
settled on the last time.
And the second one, they don't give up very much range. They're talking 10 grand range, then that's not very much.
I mean, I think the committee has spoken to this quite a bit, is that the goal is not to use the full amount of money
No.
at all. But the issue comes is that if we get, you know, we get into September, October, and we realize we can't do modular, or it's gonna be more expensive or whatever, and then we have to have plans drawn, then it's gonna cost more. And to not have the money and have to wait for another town meeting is just not acceptable.
Yeah.
So it's, you know,
We submit.
It's our money. We're not gonna spend-
$100,000, that's a top number.
yeah. And the goal is to use as little as possible of that and give the rest back.
I think what we should do is decide what's the most we want to spend and put that on the warrant and see if the town will vote to appropriate it. I mean, we don't want to spend it, no. But we need it available.
But perhaps in a magic wand to
I
come
know.
up with a number?
I mean, what do we want to do? Do we
Going to-
want to go to 100?
Go to 50 to 100, which covers both of these top two.
And cover the top and the bottom, well, cover three of them.
Yeah.
We don't know what they're giving us numbers on, to be honest with you.
No, we don't.
I mean, the third one is just, it just seems
And until we.
odd.
That's somebody that is telling you that we'll take the job if we have to, and we're gonna make a lot of money.
And we can't ask them for anything specific until we know if we can purchase the land out back. I don't want to waste their time. It's good to have some numbers.
It's kind of a catch-22.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have to have something for the warrant, then
I wouldn't want to
Just
pick
get it,
anybody
but-
until after town meeting anyway. And then we'll know exactly what we have to work with after that.
Yeah, but we need some money out of this town meeting.
Yeah, we do. So what's the maximum we want to try and appropriate? What do we think the town's going to give us?
But I mean, I think we need to ask for what we
Feel is,
we need to make sure there's enough money there to be able to do the job that's being asked. And it's kind of open as far as, we hope it's gonna be this.
Yeah.
But there's the outside chance it could be this.
Yeah.
And if we don't have the money, then we get stuck again, and then we're another year along, and that doesn't make sense.
what do
So,
we have now, 25?
well, I think that's gonna,
That's
what did we
good.
decide on that? That's gonna
It's
go
already been
back?
appropriated, though.
I thought that was the.
Dale's-
I thought we were gonna
Is
put
that-
that back and then ask for a new sum to keep it clean.
Right,
Okay.
because the description in that was very restrictive, the article from last year. So we figured this article would be much more clear and wouldn't handcuff us into stuff we didn't want to get into.
No,
we
it's
did
just-
approve it.
So is there a new
Gonna be
article?
just a police station then?
No.
No,
No.
No,
it's still
this
gonna
is
be the
for-
whole
Well,
thing.
it's gonna be a plan that is there for us to then decide what to do with.
Yeah.
And appropriate RFPs so that we can go out to bid, so that we can do the police station. I think the goal is to have, get the overall plan and then say, we need to do a police station. And be able to then have everything said and done for ahead of town meeting for next year, so that when we get done with town meeting, the goal would be is that, July 1st, we can kick that project out. But we need to make sure that any work that's being done on behalf of the police station there isn't any other work that should be done for the site overall for any future use. And the goal, I think, is to have a plan that we can then decide when to execute additional phases of it,
Right.
if at all, I guess, technically.
So do you know what they are describing as phase 1 and phase 2?
No, that was my terminology to them, that we might want to break the project up, that the police station would be the initial
Right.
phase.
Okay.
I think,
The site, most of the site, maybe not all of it. And then in the second phase would be going back for more money for the fire station.
Okay.
That was all, and so I.
Okay,
Yeah, and we definitely want whatever plan I come up with to have a phasing option.
yes.
I mean, absolutely. Because that seems to be what the numbers we've been told before, but again, we're waiting also on Collins Group for what
Plus,
their
if you
thoughts are.
notice the note there up with ACG, this is only for the OPM costs from feasibility to bid stage. Okay, if that firm, that they go through the whole thing and they monitor the construction and such, the costs could go up. He said it could be 4 to 6% of the entire project cost.
But wouldn't that would be part of the overall project though? So
That's right.
that would be part of the police
Part of the
station,
con-
part of the fire
contract.
station, that we would hire someone professional to oversee this and make sure everything is done with the thinking that they would then be watching to make sure that we didn't have more costs.
Well,
Yeah.
see, some of these people here, they may have, well, they have the qualifications, they have people that they can use as clerks to sit on the project, put a project manager on it and meet with us, manage the requisitions, manage the scheduling.
Each one of them has that?
Yeah, they're all
They're all
OPMs.
fully
They're all
staffed.
owner project manager.
Okay.
Yeah. I just, the reluctancy that I got from these people
Yeah.
to give me anything, I kind of understand it. And we're not giving them much of anything.
No.
You know, I would think that at this point in time, we might want to bring a couple of these people in. Let them see what we have, let them give us a presentation. If I understand, Dale, I think it was Architectural Consulting, they had an attachment of a video.
Yes. I
Did you
didn't
see
have a
it?
chan- No, I didn't have a chance to watch it, but.
That was very interesting, and something the entire board might want to see something like that. Even if each group come in and gave that kind of a presentation, we'd have a better idea of what they can do and what they will do for us.
I think that would be necessary for
Final
the town to make the
decision.
choice on.
So-
I'm reluctant
The
to
hire.
pick one because of that. I'd rather
We're
have
not
somebody come
picking
in
that,
and.
we're just coming up with money
Yeah.
for the warrant, really.
Right, I
I
know, I
would-
understand that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I would
there's your
think-
range.
Yeah, I would think we would have a meeting the week following town meeting with the goal to ask
Some
folks
of
to
these
come
people
in and with the hope of being able to get them chosen by end of May, early June. Again, this is all assuming appropriation.
Right.
And then so that they could start as soon as they can after July 1st. But yeah, I don't think we're at that point to say yes or no, but we needed some sort of number to be able to get to, because if we had put 60,000 on the warrant, that may have ended up being a problem. If you look at, looking
Yeah,
at these
right.
numbers, you're at you mate one of them and the others, you're all low.
So, what number are we comfortable with? And
50 to 100.
I think that we actually want a top
With
number.
a ceiling.
I wouldn't.
And
I
say
wouldn't
not to
go-
exceed,
I wouldn't
Yeah, I
come-
wouldn't go any less than 150,000.
really.
150?
150, my opinion.
Just for plans and engineering, I mean, it seems like a lot. It doesn't seem like the project itself really
For
warrants
somebody to put
it.
together a set of drawings, like I said earlier, they're gonna have to survey the property, they're gonna have to have a soils engineer come out, do testing, boring. There's a lot of small little items that these people will handle for us that's incorporated in that cost.
Yeah.
So,
Like that last sentence says, any incidental costs that may be incurred.
right.
That's why I'm saying 150.
Yeah.
I
They're-
mean,
they're
that
gonna find out
150 is what we have to
if
try
we
and
bring
get
up-
past town meeting. I mean, how the
They'll-
voters gonna
They'll
approve
let us
that.
know if we can put a pole coming across the street. Do we have to go under the road?
I mean, the whole point is to try to get this constructed.
Right.
You know, I mean, if the town balks at 150,000, well,
They're certainly gonna balk at several million,
Yeah.
most definitely.
you know.
I don't
But-
know if they'll
but the
go
goal-
with the 150.
Well, but
Pardon me?
I don't know if they'll go Except
Well,
Like I
150.
said, that's
But
just my opinion, that's all.
But that cost is gonna come one place or another. So if we don't have the money to do it up front,
You gotta do it
then we're
after.
gonna have to do it after, which could incrementally change the costs
Yeah,
for
then
the
it
building of the
becomes-
buildings.
Then it becomes an extra,
Yeah,
and extras cost you money.
right.
So the goal would be is that you come out of this going, we can build this and we can build this for this range right here,
Mm-hmm,
all in and all done.
right.
Rather than saying, well, we think it's gonna work here.
Yeah.
And then we find something that then we end up having to come back and get more money for. And again, the goal is to, if we can get away with using 60, we use 60.
Yeah,
And the
yeah,
rest of the money
right.
goes back to the other project.
But we don't save any money till we make a choice on who we're gonna have. That's when we find out how much money we save. No, then they come in with a hard number.
Well, I mean, we're also not gonna, well, no, they're not gonna be able to, they're gonna have to come in with a range, because if we don't know whether we're doing modular or we get kicked out to do drawings, I mean, we don't,
Well, don't we have the modular people coming in?
we do.
In 2 weeks, yes.
Yeah. But every time we talk about the cost per square foot, they're getting closer and closer and closer, so we
Yeah.
just don't know. I have no preference one way or another which way we do it.
Let me give you just one example, okay? Say we hire somebody, and they put the specs together, they put the plans together, and we're getting ready to go out to bid. Vendors are gonna call in, they're gonna have what they call RFIs, requests for information. They want clarification on a paragraph in the spec. That's the OPM's responsibility. If he can't answer it out himself, he comes to us. What exactly did you mean with this statement? That costs money.
Right.
Right then and there, you've got an hourly rate to answer a question. You could have 25, 30, 40, 100 of those. You never know, depending on how good your initial design is, you know?
And if you run out of money in doing your initial design, you don't make sure you've clarified everything and dotted every I and crossed every T, and therefore it's
Right.
gonna cost you more money down the road.
Okay, so we actually have a number of people in the audience who may want to weigh in on this. It is a posted selectmen's meeting, so you can feel free to talk about that. We have a gentleman here who's very interested in our committee and possibly interested in joining it. I don't know if you want to have any input, or just want to think?
Yeah, no, my name is Ross McPherson. I've been in construction management for going on 11 years now. And the comment about having your plans as detailed as possible up front is completely legitimate. I can tell you from experience, extras not only add dollars, but they add time. And that time translates into more dollars lost down the road. So coming up with a plan that includes, you know, everything you need and want, looking at your current needs and with an eye towards, you know, future needs, you're gonna save money long-term. And if you can convey that to the voters, you know, they may be enough to sell it at 150 or whatever number you come in with.
And I mean, I know we don't have, and that's part of the issue, we don't have a number on the overall project because we don't have the plans, but we're talking somewhere between, I mean, all told, what, 4 to 6 million?
No,
No, for all told, just rough.
yeah.
And is 150,000 a lot of money to come up with plans for a project that big? Doesn't, I mean, it's real money, it's certainly significant, but it doesn't seem out of scope or out of character.
No, I agree, I agree with you. I agree with Harry. You know, you need to have, don't forget you're combining this with the 25 from last year, so if you want to go to 150, it's $125,000 additional in this article. And you're not going to get away with it for probably less than that. I mean, both gentlemen who are in the business understand that, you know, there's a lot of things that pop up as you go forward, depending on what you do. I mean, if this changes to a stick-built, you're off, you know, it's a whole different set of ball games. I mean, if you can get it done modularly, then that's, you know, that may be a little less complicated, but it's still, there's the tie-in between the site work and the, you know, and the hookups, and and, you know, and the contract and who's doing what. So there's a lot to it, particularly if you put both buildings in it.
Okay, so I guess I'll move that we suggest to the Board of Selectmen, I'm sorry.
Can I
Harry?
make just one more
Yes.
comment? In going through the five, I reviewed the initial 26 applicants again, and there are several that did not go to the next stage that I feel could possibly do the job. Now, whether we want to eliminate them completely now, or whether we want to touch base with them and ask them, you know, why didn't you take it to the next step?
I don't think we can legally. I mean, if
It
they
may
didn't
not be,
respond,
but
they
I don't know,
didn't
I'm just
respond.
asking.
Can we do that, Dale? Can we?
Sorry, what?
If they didn't respond within the open bid period,
Well, it's not a bid. It was just a request for service. You're gonna have to go back out to bid for this. I
Right,
mean, it's a
okay.
full-blown sealed 30B bid. You know, you're over 35,000 with any of them. So, it'll have to go back out to bid again. If it passes a town meeting, it'll go back out to bid, and there'll be a cap on the amount of money, and it'll be much more specific.
so companies that didn't submit this time
They could submit there
next
as well,
time.
yeah.
Can we approach them?
Sure. Sure, because this wasn't a bid scenario, it's a request for service or a
Okay.
proposal. We're looking for proposals from qualified people. And so, you know, it'll go back out to bid, but that doesn't mean you can't go back to anybody who responded and say, you know, we didn't get a response from you, but we think you might be qualified. So, you know, can you throw something at us so we can, you know, the committee can work with that. And then the project will be going out to bid hopefully sometime after the town meeting. I mean, we can have the bid ready to go on, you know, the day after, as far as that goes.
I don't understand why we have to do it again. I don't understand why we're doing it again. Isn't
Why
that
we're
what we
doing
just
what
did?
again?
Send out another request for service?
This wasn't a sealed bid. I mean, this is not a sealed bid. This is not, you're talking about, I mean, you've either got to go out under chapter 149 or chapter 30B to do any project, well, construction projects are 149. But, you know, anything over $35,000 has to go out the sealed bid, has to have all the proper advertising, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It has to go through the process.
Okay.
This was a request for what do we need and what's the numbers gonna look like, so we were looking for an amount to put on the warrant. I thought that's what you wanted to do.
Yep,
Mhm.
that's correct.
Okay, any more discussion? Then I move that we suggest to the Board of Selectmen that we put a top price on this at $150,000.
I'll second that.
No more discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Let's get on that. Thank you, you three, Bob, Jake, and
Yes,
Harry,
thank you.
for all
Yes.
of your work. And Dale also, reading all these things and
Send it out.
looking them over. Okay, really the only other thing we have to deal with tonight is plan the next meeting. I am not going to be here next week. If you want to, I don't know that we have a reason to meet, so I think we
Not
can
till-
take another
not
week
till the
off.
module comes in.
Okay, so the next meeting will be on the 27th, April 27th, and we will have a modular company named ModSpace here to give us a presentation.
Yeah.
Okay, and entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second that one again.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Uh,
And Board of Selectmen in recess for 5 minutes?